Hey, we're taking two at Hoagie's Garage today. We don't do this very often.
When you screw up as bad as you do, bud.
Brogan Carter and Chuck Hall, better known as Sparky.
That's
right? All right. Sounds good. Probably going to start out more with Brogan here to get going with. And then we'll kind of get a little bit more into what you've all done too, Sparky, all right? So, Brogan, tell us a little bit about yourself, how old you are, family, stuff like that.
I'm 13. I'm a normal teenager, I guess. Just turned 13 on September 17th. I have 9 other siblings.
Did you say 9?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
9 others. They're not all whole siblings.
Yeah.
I count them as whole
Yeah,
siblings.
absolutely.
Yep.
So,
Blended.
growing up was a little rough, getting picked on and whatnot.
Oh, come on.
I should say his dad's on the phone, so I kind of left him out. So, but you just got done with football tonight.
Yeah, well, football practice.
Yep. So, what positions do you play?
I mainly play a wide receiver and safety, but sometimes I get in the mix of the corners.
Super.
So
That's
what
awesome.
school?
Patrick Henry.
Okay.
All right, right there in Sioux Falls. You bet. That's awesome.
Bud got that part right.
So let's just get into a little bit of the racing. That's obviously why we're here. What have you all raced growing up? When did you start, and what have you all raced?
Well, I started about 3 years ago. I started off in a BP wing at Plessis Motorsports Speedway. You want how it started?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So how it started was, it started originally as a joke, just between me and my brother, but then once it got more serious, it started going around, floating around to my uncle and my dad and then my grandpa. So I went up to my dad and asked him, could I do go-karts? And he said, he just laughed at me straight up. He said, get your grandpa on board and I'll maybe think about it. So I called him up and he said, yeah, sure. And my dad didn't believe me, whatsoever. So my dad called him and he said, Grandpa, are you sure you want to do this? This is going to take a lot of time and effort. And he said, yeah, I ain't got nothing else better to do. So then we decided to go down the Plessis and see what that was all about. And then Matt Haugen, we were just walking around the pits. Matt Haugen comes up to me, says, do you drive? I say, no. Do you want to drive? I said, well, I'd like to. How about you want to test drive our car after the races? And I said, I'll think about it. But 30 minutes later, I went back over to his pits and I said, I'll take you up on your offer for that. He said, okay, awesome. So after the races, I hopped in Micah Haugen's fire suit and in all his gear. I went around and just putted around the track, and that's when I fell in love with it.
That's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
cool. I'm surprised it took you 30 minutes.
And what age was that?
That was 11.
So,
Yeah.
so you haven't been doing it very long.
No.
I mean, you just said you're 13, right?
Yeah.
So when did you actually start then? Did you start when you were 12? Or did you do some
no.
already when you were 11?
We raced maybe 5 or 10, 15 races that year, but that was just getting our toes in the water, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Still letting Grandpa realize what he got himself into.
Yeah.
So how did we get a cart? What did we all do? How did we get him started?
We kind of just jumped in the deep end is what happened. We looked around for some used stuff, and most of it was used up. And
Yep.
so we bought new and jumped in with both feet.
That's awesome.
What type of cart you run then?
QRC Spitfire, I think.
Okay.
You bet.
But our
You bet.
BP was a
Oh, our BP was
PRC.
PRC.
Okay. And then last year, what did you all race? Same deal as that?
No, last year we raced the BP. We thought about getting a 250, and that did happen at the end of the English Creek season, or I guess it was the end of the winter. Was it? Because it was by the time of
the
that.
spring.
Yeah. We went down the Jacobs Peterson's. I don't know what it was. His,
Vance Peterson had some
Yeah.
stuff.
That's good.
but
We bought his stuff and we took it down to English Creek, and we got really stupid and decided we'd try to run 2 cars that night. And that don't work, I'll tell you that right now. Did all right in the heat race for the BP. I think we timed 3rd fastest that night. And we got around to the feature, and Brogan came in after the hot laps or after the first heat with the 250 with our 250, and he said, "There's no way I'm running 30 laps tonight in 2 cars. Ain't happening." So we said, "Well, which one do you want to run?" And he goes, "The 250."
Of course,
Well,
right?
better on the fast one.
So we kind of parked the BP and never drug it back with us again after that.
Really? After
250 all the time from then on.
You gotta start working out more.
I am working out.
Well, we went to Houston's and did the thing with Frank Grave up there.
Oh, yeah.
The night Lee
Thunder
goes
Road.
and and all them were up there, and they let us drive forever. And
Yeah.
my arms were shot. I'm like, I'm done. I can't race anymore. So you bet.
So you've obviously run Plessy and then English Creek. Have you run other tracks besides then, or?
Yeah, we've raced a whole lot. We've raced, there's a place called Thunder Hill, that's in Wisconsin. Mississippi Thunder, that's also in Wisconsin. What's the one track in
Golden Spike.
Golden Spike? That's a BP kart track. Then we've run down the
Aberdeen,
Brookings, Minko, Menominee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Fairmont, Minnesota,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Wait, no, it was starts with an I. The
Poplar Bluff. I think ran that one.
yeah.
So I'm assuming then most of these you're just going for like specials. Do you have
Well-
did you run English Creek then like for points or anything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we ran English Creek for points.
And the other ones were just shows you'd pick up then, or did you run for points at another track also?
No.
Just
No.
the one?
Yeah. Running around getting experience. Different tracks, different guys to race against.
Yep.
So, like, what size tracks are they? I mean, how big do they go up to?
Well,
Are they all dirt?
yeah, they're all
Okay.
dirt. The one in Oklahoma was red dirt, so that threw me off. It was really weird. But yeah, like English Creek, I think is like a fifth mile,
Fifth
Okay.
mile.
but that's probably about as big as they get
Okay.
that I've been to.
Yep. And how'd you do racing this year?
I think I did pretty good for my first season. I raced, I don't know, 30. You say 20, 30, 250 shows.
I'm thinking close to that. Yeah.
Close to that.
We finished second in points down at English Creek.
Hmm.
And we even missed a race.
Really? And
Yeah.
still held on to second, and
Yeah.
you were doing pretty well, I
Yeah.
would say.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Any wins on the year?
Yeah, I've had 4, I think. Yeah.
You think? Is it
Two, I
4 or
think.
5? What is it now?
Two at Mississippi Thunder.
And then 2 at exit 7. Or not exit. Yeah, it was exit 7.
So now I have to ask, because we used to play around at Fulkins with go-karts racing, and we always run slicks on the dirt. Can you guys run the slicks? You have to.
No, we gotta run shredded.
You gotta run tread.
Tread.
That's what same thing the little guys were. The Grafing boys were telling us they gotta run tread tires too.
Yeah.
Is there a certain class if you move up that they allow the slicks, or does everybody have to run the dirt? Is it
Flat
pretty-
cart's got
Yeah,
slicks.
flat carts can run 6,
Okay.
but if you're a wing cart, you gotta run shredded.
Okay.
You bet. You bet. That sounds good. So earlier this year, and kind of how I met you, you were by the wash carts up at Huset's. You were doing some power washing during the High Banks Nationals, and the very first post I saw was sleeping standing up with a picture of you. So tell us what what were you doing at the High Banks, and how busy were you?
Oh, it was very busy. So when the races actually started, we went out there. I went the first night we didn't really go out there in the morning because they didn't race at all.
Yeah.
But at the night, we got over at like 3 a.m. And then the next morning, we had to get up at like 6, get everything ready, get everything filled with water, and just wait. Because it's a waiting game. You don't know when people are going to show up or when they're going to roll out their cars. And maybe if they wash them first or maybe they work on them first. You never know. So then we usually stopped until they stopped coming, which is usually at like 1 or 2. Then we
In the morning.
No,
No,
Or in the
that's
afternoon.
That's when they
Okay.
start at 6 in the morning.
Okay.
On 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I think the way I understood that.
And then we had to go over and run over to the t-shirt shop and get that set up. And that's where I spent a majority of my time at, was just helping around at the t-shirt shop and just helping out over there and making sales and thanking people for supporting my racing career. Because, you know.
So it was your
it's
t-shirt
basically-
shop then?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little tent.
Yep. Well, that's all you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just got to have t-shirts sitting there.
Yep. But that was pretty much the way it consisted of the whole high banks. It was just
So 3 nights of racing. I don't know how many would wash the last night if they all would leave, but how much sleep do you think you got during the High Bank Nationals?
probably about like maybe 12.
Good thing you're young. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was there every night pushing, but I took the week off. I worked Wednesday and I had Thursday, Friday off. But debated on Monday just to catch up and I wasn't getting home at 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was and then he forgot about the part after the races. We would go wash until 1-2 o'clock in the morning,
You know,
and then get back up at 6 and start all over again. And then in the middle of all that, he and Grandpa and Uncle Cody drove down to English Creek and raced.
oh, so you went down and raced Friday night then at English Creek?
Yeah.
Wow. How'd you do that night? Do you remember?
Not very good. We tried running the high side, and 250s don't have enough power.
Hey, then you know, right?
Yeah.
That you're trying to learn, so
Yeah,
that's
if
what
we
you
figured
do.
it out, we'd be the smartest ones there. But
there was limited carts that night. I think there was only, 5 of us?
yeah, 6.
And one of the guys that we raced against he's good.
Yeah.
There's no kidding, he's good. And so we figured, let's just try something.
Yeah.
So we put a gear in it for running the top and told him go have fun.
And now you know that didn't work very well.
Absolutely never going to do that again.
Oh,
I've never. We go down there next year again. We should just ride over to English Creek just to look at it. Because we've talked to a lot of people that have done it, over
Yeah.
the years.
You bet.
And we just had help me out Garner on
Cole?
Cool. Yeah.
That's, he was racing them all the time till this year.
Well, funny story. After we got our cart, the 250, we talked the guys down at Emma
Missouri.
Missouri, if we could come down there and get some laps so he could figure out the clutch and stuff like that. Well, Garner's raced down there also, and so we conned Cole into bringing his 250 down there to kind of lead him around and show
Okay.
him how to get around the track. Well, that was all fine and dandy. They saw how fast they were, and the guys at Emma said, sorry, we can't have you guys race here anymore because we'd have to extend the fence another 6 foot up.
Too fast.
Too fast. So, 2 weeks later, bravery sets in. He tries to run in underneath Cole going into a corner. Cole told me afterwards, he said, I looked over there and went, what is this kid trying to do? So Cole taught him well.
That didn't work for you, huh? So 250. So it's like a 250 cycle engine then.
Yes.
And then do they have gears in them then, or they just?
Yeah, they got gears.
So you got to shift them then, whatever. You
Yeah.
got to clutch and shift them. So just the regular cycle transmission then, or
Yeah.
they? Okay.
Yep.
So then 5-speed transmission, or you don't use them
5-speed.
all?
Yeah.
Still use them all?
Yeah.
Okay. For guys that never run them, we had a 5-horse Briggs when we were playing out at the farm. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no clue how that worked, so that's kind of interesting.
Well, I knew you didn't know, but.
Yeah, thanks, Dope. Thanks, Dope. So, who all helps you? I'm assuming Grandpa.
Yeah.
I'm assuming your dad.
My Uncle Cody and just a bunch of my dad's and Cody's and Grandpa's friends just pitch out or help out whenever they can. Mostly just like welding things when we break them, or just making lead, or not. I guess not making lead. Like we had to put a sidebar on because we were doing the concrete challenge in our BP car. We had somebody cut a little hole in the what's it called, the side bar.
Oh,
The Nerf bar?
Nerf bar.
We had to open put some beads in there because if you didn't, you'd just be hopping the whole time.
Oh, you had to add weight to it to keep it on the track.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we ran concrete one time, and I don't think there's any reason for us to ever go back. we scrubbed tires for probably 3 days after that to get all the syrup
Get the
off
crump
of them.
syrup off or whatever.
It's sticky, very sticky.
Oh man.
So you just dump like lead shot in the Nerf bar then, or?
We drilled a hole and started the torch up and started pouring lead down the hole until we couldn't get any more lead in
Oh,
it.
so you just filled it solid, okay.
Yeah. We had that, and then on top of that, we borrowed 75 pounds of lead from another one of our guys that races. And we hung that on the inside also. So we probably had, I don't know, 100, 105 pounds of lead hanging on the inside of the
Then you put him in there, you're up to 200 anyhow, maybe.
No
I'm guessing you might weigh 100, don't you, or not even?
Well, back then I probably weighed about 90.
Oh, okay.
You bet. So we'll come back a little bit here when we wrap it up with what you're going to do here in the future, because I think that's really important to talk about, and that's kind of how I want to end the show. But since we have you here, Sparky, tell us what you've all done with racing. From what I hear, this could take an hour or two, so maybe condense it down a little bit.
Let me get a chair.
Yeah,
out
no
here.
good. But tell us some of the things that you've all done with the racing.
Well, when I was younger, I did go-karting, and we had dart carts at that time, Mac 91 A's, 101 A's. It's a McCulloch motor,
Okay.
2-cycle. We used to run those.
Chainsaw motor.
Chainsaw motor, basically, yeah.
Yep.
From there, I went to helping guys out. I had a neighbor that lived a block away from me. I'd go over to his place and pound dents out of his race car for him and sweeping his garage. From that, we moved into building motors for one of my other classmates, a year older than I am, Harry Kopecky, and a friend of ours, Willie Hazard, decided that we were going to go racing. So we put that project together. 1980 came along, the farm crisis hit. We pretty much dissolved the race team. Terry and I went separate ways. 81 is when 82, I moved to Madison, got hooked up with Fran Bruns and Chuck McGilvery because they were working at the dealership with them.
Yep.
So we did some of the racing with them. Then I got tabbed to be a tech official at Lake County International, or Lake County Speedway, excuse me.
Yep.
Did that for a while. Also, I was the tech guy at what's now I-90. I think at that time it was Jeff Davis and Vance Peterson were running the track. I don't remember if it was called Red Devil or not, but it's old
Could
time
be.
ago, long time ago. I was tech director there for a while, and then I got hooked up with Matt Sturwald on his stock car, and been doing engines for him now. We've been racing together for 20 plus years, probably easily 20 plus years. And so his co-partner in the car, son, decided that he wanted to drive, so we put together another car, and I did another motor for them, and that's what I'm doing now, just motors and transmissions, and pretty selective who I work for, but
Hey, that's a choice you can make. That's the nice part about
when
it.
you're retired, you don't want to get in too deep.
Might have to go fishing or something once in a while. You ain't got time to doing race motors all the time.
Well, the go-kart keeps me pretty busy too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So what's the best part of helping all those teams?
camaraderie. It's a family deal. I like to explain it that we're just a bunch of adrenaline junkies, I guess I'll call us.
Yep.
It's one of the strongest drugs I think you can take legally because you generate it yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And once you get hooked on racing, it's tough to get it out.
It's the pits to get away, ain't it?
I've heard some guys that actually turned their back and walked, and the flame is still burning there on a pilot light.
Yep. And we've talked to different guys too, and different people have talked, like to the dude, to Lazowski, and he'd get back in the car tomorrow if the opportunity presented itself, and it's really tough to get away. We've been involved you know, back when Steve Folkens was racing body cars, you know, I was, you know, I don't know if I was your age yet. I'd tag along my brother and I'd get to paint the white letters on the tires or something. You know, they'd give me a little brush. You know, I didn't get to do anything important, but that's where you start, you know, and you just get involved and you stay there and you just, it's yeah. Well, here you sit in our garage. You can see what kind of mess we got going on in here.
It resembles my neighbor's garage, though. He has a, let's see, Dick's garage is probably 24 by 30, something like that. And there's one car in the garage, and that's his Corvette. Otherwise, it's all race memorabilia.
Well, we're getting to where we're
That's
going
good.
to we're going to need a bigger garage or start parking something outside. But
Yeah, our joke is Tobe has to win the
yeah,
lottery.
we keep
So
talking about winning the lottery. I bought one again this week.
That's
$1 billion. We should be able to build whatever we want.
what's the best part of helping the grandson?
Family involvement, that's got to be the biggest thing. I watched him progress. And having him listen to what we tell him.
I was just going to say, does he pay attention when you try to give him some tips and pointers?
You bet. So, what is the plans going forward here? I said we were going to kind of come back to this a little bit. From what I hear, you're going to California.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, I'm going to go down to California and race the whole Red Bluff season in Red Bluff, California. So that should be an excitement the whole winter. So
you're going out there this winter. That's that indoor track out there then, or is that?
yeah, it's indoor, but you pit outside.
Okay. Of course, you're in California, so you don't have
Yeah.
winter like we have.
So, how did that come about? Did you have kind of that good of a season here that people over there, you know, is this a ride or is this, what is this?
It's not a ride.
I had to ask.
I think I can help out with that.
Okay.
Okay.
So it'll be Brogan's own equipment. We're gonna take it out there next week, and I guess what it was is I think as a family, Dad and I and Cody and Mom all talked, and we see that this is something that he's really passionate about, and he has progressed pretty well. I think the first time out, he T-boned the end of a wall, and now he's winning races and having fun with it. And he just keeps getting better and better, and so we just want to try to get him some exposure. And then I saw there's a guy out there, his name is Carson Perkins, and Carson actually works for QRC Karts, and he's raced Red Bluff for several years. He's actually won some track championships out there. And he threw a deal out on Facebook that he's focusing on his micro sprint career, so he's not going to race Outlaws this winter, but he wanted to help out and kind of mentor somebody. And so I called him up and I said, hey, what's the deal? And he said, well, you bring your stuff out here, I'll maintenance it, I'll set it up, I'll coach Brogan and driving at the track, and we'll go from there. So we're going to haul it out there, leave it with them, and then Brogan and I will fly back and forth.
That's awesome.
That's a heck of a deal to stumble into, I guess. Well, he didn't stumble into it. He put it out there, but I mean, you can't beat that if you're going, especially like you said with the track champion and stuff. He knows what he's doing. It ain't like me and Bud trying to help him out.
Yeah, no, Carson seems like a good kid, and he's obviously got some wins under his belt at that track, and that's a very competitive track. That's kind of known as probably one of the top 2 or 3 outlaw kart tracks in the country to race at. So
You bet.
I guess if you're gonna compete with the best, you need to go get your butt kicked by the best first.
Well, that's how you're going to learn. You keep winning all the time against somebody, then you ain't pushing yourself any harder either.
You bet.
Yeah.
James, is there anything else in the works?
We've got, we were working a deal trying to get some micro shows in this fall yet, and possibly get into the shootout, the Tulsa shootout there. That's still kind of up in the air at this point. So we'll kind of see where that goes. There's still some time on the schedule for that if we can get something worked out. But obviously we don't have a micro, and financially you got to kind of commit one way or the other.
Yeah.
But we've committed to the outlaw carts, and if we could hook up with somebody and rent a micro, then we'll go try that, because that'll be a good experience for him too. and we'll just kind of see where things go there. We've got really good support. We've got good help with sponsors that like Brogan, and he's a good kid. He does well in school. He's always got his homework. We miss a lot of school for racing. I know they touched on Emma before. Emma, Missouri's the indoor track where we go race through the winter when we were racing the BP cards.
You bet.
And Matt Haugen kind of turned us onto that, and so we were down there pitting with them the last couple winters, and Brogan's always got his work done before we even leave town for school that he misses, and he's just a pretty darn good kid. So we've got some guys that want to get behind him and help him out and just see where this thing can take him.
Dad keeps talking this night. We might have to open the overhead door so the kid can get out. His head's going to get out.
Since your dad brought up sponsors, how well do you have them rehearsed here? Do you know? Can you mention some of your sponsors?
Well, I know some of them. There's Globe Best Western, Rosebud Wood Products. There's Taco John's, Five Guys. There's
Cheat sheet.
there's News Motors, 3 Mile Fair, Maximus Trucking, and then there's the damn, that's the same picture. There's the Bam Bam's barbecue sauce. There's
Rosebud Wood Products, Glow Best
Yeah.
Western.
I got a cheat sheet.
Kansas City, that's Chad Freewalt. He helps out a lot.
Oh, Chad does too. Yep, I've got to know him pretty well. He stands on the push truck with me quite a bit.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, he's a good dude. He helps us out a lot. Chad's a very good friend. I've known him for 30
Straight
plus
line
years.
repair.
I said that.
Okay.
Okay, and then it's Extreme Wash, Dakota Specialized Diesel Repair, ACS Roofing, Streamline Repair. Oh, I just said that one.
2 plugs for
But-
Shannon.
But you would always be willing to have more, right? Because racing, as we know, is very
Yep.
it's a very spendy little gig there. So anybody out there that's looking to help support another little racer, that would be awesome.
Jody just has midgets, doesn't he? I don't think he's got micros that he rents
No,
out.
he's just
I
got
don't think so.
midgets.
Yep.
Chad's got 4 midgets. His daughter races them,
Oh, yep.
and he gives one to his Uncle Chuck.
Yep.
So he gets one down there also for that.
Yep.
And then he has 2 that he rents out. He's got 5. He's got 2 that he rents out. One that his daughter drives, one that Chuck drives, one that he drives. So he's got 5 midgets.
Yep.
Plus some sprint cars, a couple
Yep.
sprint cars.
All right.
So the goal is, the midgets have 3 different national series. And
Yep.
the Power I, you can actually race when you're 13, I believe. So our ultimate goal is maybe even try to get him in a few of those races towards the end of next year.
Okay.
Can see what happens with the outlaw kart thing if he keeps progressing, and we've got some people we've been talking to about that too. So
Keeps getting his
That's awesome.
schoolwork done. Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If there's anything we left out, James, when we get to the end, you can add that in there. We're going to let these two do some rapid fire questions. And then you might, one of them, I don't know, might be a story, but maybe you won't be too happy about it. Or does he know about that one? Don't tell him if he doesn't know. All
Yeah, I
right.
might want to
Now
just
you're
take
getting
the
nervous. You don't know if you want to tell him.
I think he knows.
All right. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Mint chip.
Butterbrickle.
There's that mint chip all the time again.
Mint chip.
Cat or dog person?
I'm a dog person.
Dog.
Other than racing, do you have any other hobbies?
Hunting, fishing, and football.
There you
Hunting,
go.
fishing.
I'm a coin collector.
Coin collector. What's the rarest one you got?
Gosh, I don't even know.
Do you have a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and maybe you don't want to say, so nobody comes to your place.
All right. How about a favorite movie?
Oh, you can go first on this one.
6-pack.
Oh, good one. With Kenny Rogers.
Yep.
Yep. I just watched The Gambler today because I'm sitting at home not doing nothing, so I watched the old
Brewster
Gambler.
Baker.
Yep.
Anything coming to you? If not, that's fine.
Not really.
All
Okay,
right.
we'll
You're
skip
too
that
busy
one.
racing. Do you prefer snow or rain?
Well, I prefer snow, I guess.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, rain. He doesn't have to shovel it.
If you were going to be stranded, this could be two totally different answers.
Yep.
If you're going to get stranded somewhere on an island and you have to have one type of music along to listen to, what would you have to bring along?
Zach Bryan.
That's country, by the way, bud.
Boo.
Yeah.
Country.
Country?
That's the same answer. I was wrong. I was guessing the kid would go with something different. Bud don't like country. That's why I pick on him all the time.
And it's like everybody, I swear, likes country. So, do you have a favorite place to go out to eat?
Texas Roadhouse.
The buns.
Ah.
Is there any little hidden gems out there?
Dempsey's in Columbia, Missouri.
Dempsey's in Columbia.
Best barbecue around.
That's good.
We
Where
got-
did Cole say yesterday, or the last time?
You're asking me to remember what
Some
we did
place
last
on
week.
41st Street.
It's a sub shop.
Yeah.
Greg's Shubs, maybe?
I don't know.
We got to get a notebook. We got to
We
start
should
writing
write
this
stuff
down so
down.
we know, because we hear all these great
We'd have to
places
listen to our
eat.
podcast to figure out where to go eat.
Yeah. What app on your phone do you use the most?
Probably Snapchat or Facebook. Scrolling through Marketplace.
Looking for go-kart parts?
Yeah.
Nothing?
You tell him how I work my phone.
He probably has like a minute a day on his phone. So
There you go. That's perfect.
That's all right. I figure I use about 5% of what my smartphone's capable of because I don't know how to use any of it.
Tobe skipped one. What's
Did
your
he?
favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Oh. Favorite one? I'm going to say Memorial Day.
Yep.
That's a favorite.
That's good.
That's a good one.
You bet. We had Sean Quinn on with Memorial Day. Sean, and we always forget his other name because we're so terrible, but Bond is his last name. And it was a really good Memorial Day message. It's a lot to do with the veterans and everything else. So,
Now we'll just have to ask Sparky this one because hopefully you don't have any yet.
no, he does. He does have a story.
Yeah, but that's the next question.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
your
that's
stories
right. That's
now.
right.
See, we're both screwing these up tonight. And I got an excuse because I can't really see the other side of the table from here. But how many speeding tickets have you got in your lifetime, Sparky?
Oh. Grand total of 1.
Oh!
That's awesome.
I'm real selective if I'm going to speed.
That's awesome. All right. So, what's the fastest you've ever driven or been in the car with somebody driving?
Well, I think he knows about this one. I don't think my mom knows about this
Oh.
Well, make sure Mom don't listen to the podcast.
She won't listen all the way to the end.
one. Well, it was my sister's friend's boyfriend's birthday, and I was probably about 7, if so. And we went down to Vermilion to go and celebrate his birthday. And he said, yeah, you can take my Camaro out. And we got that thing going up to like 150, just going down.
That makes Grandpa proud, doesn't it?
And that's where it all started.
Downhill since.
The speed bug was upon him already.
What about you?
70 Firebird, Formula 400, 135.
Well, they both beat us, bud.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever
Absolutely.
made triple digits yet.
Oh, I definitely have.
What's your favorite thing to drink?
Sunkissed.
Sunkist. That's a new one, maybe.
Yep.
Crown and Coke.
There you
That
go.
works too.
Last one. If money was no object at all, what car, pickup, race car, what would be the one thing that you wish that you could own?
That one's a hard one because it's either your dream car or a race car.
Well, tell me them both.
Tell both. We
Well,
don't care.
My dream car is a 911 Porsche, but for a sprint car, it'd be a 410,
Yeah.
most definitely.
I'd like to get my old Super Bee back. I had a
Oh, you got a Super Bee at one time?
70 Super Bee 446 pack. Beautiful car.
Should have held on to that one. We
Yeah.
all can look back
Well,
and say we should have held on to something now.
I was married at the time and we wanted to buy a house, and the only thing I had to sell was my Super Bee. And had I kept it, I could have bought 2 or 3 of those
Yep.
houses.
Yep.
No.
Oh,
Yep, there ain't many of them left anymore.
you bet. Well, guys, I don't know if there's anything that we left out that you guys want to talk about, or James, anything that you want to bring up?
No, I think you guys did awesome. Just probably huge shout out, we've been kind of following you guys for a while and watching you guys and what you guys do for the racing community and what you guys are doing there. I know, I've started a couple different businesses and grown them and run them, and you guys put in a lot of work. You guys put in a lot of hours and a lot of work, and what you guys are doing to help get the word out for what some of these kids are doing and what some of the older guys are doing is just, it's nothing short of amazing. We appreciate the hard work you guys put in for sure.
Well,
Thank
that's
you.
good.
Bud does
Absolutely.
most of the hard work. I just got to show up and talk.
And we got this today. I want to
Yep.
show this on the camera here. I don't know where the glare is, how to get rid of
looks
the
pretty-
glare.
Tip her forward. There you go. That's pretty close.
But
Kind of.
yeah, that's getting a bad reflection there.
Yeah.
But it's they brought that for us today, and that's really cool. So we wanted to show that off. So we thank you guys so much for doing
That's
that.
like the last two people that come have brought us presents.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kaiser Will
And
sent
Kaiser,
us
yeah, he
a
hooked
rim
us up with
too.
sweatshirts
So,
and a rim, so
Absolutely.
life is good.
so
One last thing, if you guys don't mind, I'll throw out there.
No, go ahead.
Brogan and Grandpa do not know this,
Uh-oh.
but Mom and Dad stopped through St. Louis today. We're on our way to Bristol, Tennessee for a music festival. And we stopped through St. Louis, which is the home of, you guys have heard of the Burrow Max electric pit bikes.
Yep.
We are now the official dealer in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for Burrow Max pit bikes.
Oh.
all right.
Guess it's gonna have a Burrow Max pit bike now. Or you got one already.
Got two.
Oh.
Now you know who you can get more from.
That's awesome. So who do they contact for that?
They can contact me. My phone number is 605-480-1384. And then our shop is right over off Benson and 229, right off of Benson and Lewis Avenue in Sioux Falls there. And then we'll put together a Facebook page and do some advertising and try to have them out to Huset's next year. Huset's has been a huge help. Doug and Todd, and as you guys know, what they do out there is just phenomenal. Those guys are just such givers, and they've allowed us to be out there several times this year, and I think they've invited us back next year. Allow us to set our stuff up on the midway. They allow us to come up with different ways, like you guys touch on. It's not cheap, and so they allow us with different ways to try to come up with money that we all put all of it back towards the racing program and just the racing community in general is it's an awesome community.
You bet. You bet.
That it is.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks for coming in person again. This is absolutely awesome. We love having people in person. And hey, great luck in California.
Thank you.
Are you going to be able to watch online or anything?
I believe they have. I've already looked at some of their YouTube stuff from out there, and they have like 40 of these guys every night. So it's going to be, a lot of guys to run against,
Oh yeah.
a lot of competition.
That's the experience we were talking about.
Yep.
New guys to race against. Probably haven't seen any of them guys before, probably.
Nope.
Looking forward to it.
And they do broadcast it. It's Fast Forward Media that broadcasts all the races live out there.
Fast Forward Media?
Fast Forward.
Fast
Fast
Forward.
Forward.
Okay.
There you go.
And
See?
we'll put all that, Brogan's Facebook page, Brogan Carter Racing, and he's got a website. We'll put all that info out there too.
Okay.
Awesome.
Then we got something to do this winter in here. bud.
Absolutely. We can watch races. We
I'm
got
assuming-
enough TVs. We
I'm
can
assuming
find it.
that's Saturday nights then they run out there, or when is it?
Normally, yes, Saturday nights, they do have quite a few 2-day shows.
Okay.
I think the first time we go out there is October 28th. And that's a 1-day show. And then I think there's a couple 2-day shows after that through the third week in December. And then they take a break through the beginning of February. And then they go from February till the week of March 14th is when they have their big 4-day national show. So
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we thank you guys so much for coming and being on the show tonight.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you.
You bet.
We're glad to be here.